I'm Entercall with Thomas Kikamis and Barbie.
Can
Do you
still
think
fix
do you
that.
think the game lacks tanks? Because I was also looking forward to another tank.
I think I've pushed KP more tankier bruisery, much to the chagrin of some KP players.
Yeah.
I think the game does lack tanks, but I think tank in our game is also just a really hard set of constraints because it doesn't have as like defined battle lines front to back, and like you have so much mobility options that oftentimes the process of like I'm trying so hard to stand in front of you, you know, and then your backline's like, no, fuck that, I'm going in front of you. The answer is yes. I think our game lacks tanks, and I do want to shift her and maybe even KP even more so over time towards more of that role. But I think it requires actually other things to change first to help enable that. I think you have to give teams like more reasons to want to stay in a similar spot. I mean, part of it is, I think, like what you guys have pointed out already, is like landmass. There's no exactly like tanking over the abyss, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
The battle lines over abyss sort of just disappear, and you just have to like make do with what's there. So I think it's like part of it is just like you need sort of like semi-stable battle lines, and then you can go from there.
So is like the Joule Rework still happening, or was kind of like
I think
because it was talked about.
internally. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, if it doesn't come through, right, like it's not going to be a state of like, oh, Joule gets nothing from now on, right? It's more like, hey, it just means that we have to refocus around the shape of the kit that's already there.
What like type of character in Supervive do you feel like is missing?
There's like two archetypes that I'm personally really interested in. One is like what you guys already talked about a little bit, tank. The other is I think like we have some like supportive hybrid characters, right? Like Aluna, Zeph, etc. All of them are support leaning. The other is like a true like a pure support character, or like a much closer to a pure support character. I don't know if that's like palatable to a lot of players. Is like, hey, if you are like playing this character and you're caught in like a 1v1 against a non-supportive character, is it okay that like you are not uber doomed, but like very likely to lose that matchup? But the output of it could be, hey, I'm able to like focus on being a supportive player, you know, and I get to be really good at that. And so like when I'm with my team and when I'm with my teammates, I have like a lot of like amazing outputs. The thing that I think is missing the most actually from the game is just like you feel them playing with people on comms, and like the gap of playing like solo, and because there's so much like movement, expression, and potential, and everyone wants to like do their own thing, you know. But I would love coordinated play and solo play to be brought closer together. So whether it's like for things like supportive gameplay or tank gameplay, it's just like you feel like you're playing as a team. There are attempts. I think part of it is like there's one is like the meta. We could look at movement. I don't want to bring back SoloQ to be very clear, but it's like between high tops and other things, it's like, hey, can we schmove too much? You know?
Yeah.
Like, can we schmove so much that like we no longer are able to like reliably see our teammates on our screen and therefore like plan together? You know?
Yeah, it's like everybody's just playing their own game kind of thing.
Yeah. One of the changes that we're looking at is like changing the behavior, for example, of how recall works. And so instead of silencing you, giving you some other outputs, making it so that's still fair to not like, I don't know, immediately combat recall on people, because that's degenerate in other ways. But at least providing more options in that space so that people can play together as a team more often. It's sort of like a segue into a different topic, like Skydoos, like looking at those and like, because I do think like it's really joyful to be able to like ride around in the world, but it also does give you, you know, especially in higher MMR lobbies, like a lot of access to many beacons.
Making Skysharks kind of have more of like a backlash. This is not too free. Like it feels like there's something that can hold you back. Or probably have all the good nodes gamer.
They probably just need to be not invulnerable.
I think you should feel advantage when you're using the Skyshark, but it should not be like functional immunity. Two different axes of thinking about Skysharks, right? There's like one is like the actual strength of them when you're using them, and that's like a combination of like, hey, what protections does it give you? How fast does it go? How much fuel there is, etc. Right? And like, what's the general health of the Skyshark? The other is like how frequently Skysharks spawn, how many of them there are on the map, and things like that as well. And I think those are things that we could look at tuning separately, right? Like one is like, how does it feel to play against someone who's on a Skyshark? And then the other is like, hey, what does the overall mobility profile of the game look like at any given time? And therefore, you know, how reliably can people get to different objectives and or reses?
I think especially with Skysharks in early games is how, for example, if there's a gold armor area, Imotech is a good example where if there's gold armor in this area, people will drop on the Skysharks on top right, and then they'll just play all the fights with 3 Skysharks, just going in circles, hitting people with the Skysharks. Because it's so hard to like damage you.
I think the thing I'll look at is like, first thing we should do is like look at toning down just like the raw number of Skysharks. Then maybe it's like look at hand editing specific locations where. What are your thoughts on mana and dash engine and opening your in?
I don't know. Like obviously when I play Bebo, I'm like, dang, this mana resource is really rough. And then I play another character that's like, this mana resource doesn't exist. Like for instance, Tetra, like it almost doesn't exist. Whereas like I'm eating food for mana on Bebo, which just feels really weird because it just means to me that I can't fight until I have a way to either get dash engines to reduce that, or I have food. Somebody even in my chat is saying it took them hours of playing until they realized that there is mana.
I think it's good for there to be some kind of like pacing, especially in an early game where you feel like you have to be more thoughtful with how you use your spells, you know. And then as you get later and later in the game, I think the hope is that like it's not as punishing, you know. But I think what mana does that's good is situations where it actually forces you to like take a step back and eat food. I think the hard thing is like feeling like you have to do that in the middle of a fight where you're already pre-committed and you find out like, oh shit, I'm out of mana. Right? It's supposed to give people the opportunity to understand like, hey, I don't always have uptime on my ability to like aggress and put forward action or momentum on the other player. That feels good, don't get me wrong. I love feeling like I can put pressure on other players. But specifically, if we want like windowing, right? And it's like, oh, they use their key cooldowns and they've slowly attritioned themselves out of this resource so that we can punish.
Like now, like on the early game, I physically can't fight as Bebo because I don't have the food to regenerate my mana. So it's just like, if I fight and then they chase me, it's like I'm always dead because I'll run out of dashes eventually and I can't throw RMBs to fight back. It's like, I should just not fight ever. And the first thing I should always buy is food. I think it just disencourages me to play the game. Before, I was like, I could play the early game, throw my spells, you know, back out for, 10 seconds, get my mana back. But I can't really do that anymore.
Pots there. We'll cook, my guy.
Oh yeah, I have an area here. Here, wait, come to me.
Okay, come to you. Oh, wait, hold on.
No. Oh, okay, alright.
That's fine. Come to me.
Oh, wait. What the fuck? Nah.
You have to go with the tornado again.
Yeah, bro.
Oh! Yo!
No.
The only one character can kill me here. It's Wukong.
What is this?
Is this gameplay?
I know you're probably not the person in charge of the rank restrictions in high MMR, Bartleby. Do you have any thoughts? There's so many people that I talk to on a daily basis that are like, I want to DuoQ, I want to do all this.
It's like impossible to matchmake you guys.
Right.
Like I'll say this clearly, what we're doing here on some level, terrorizing EU, like this is wrong.
Yeah, this is wrong.
What is more important? Is it fair matches or is it the ability to play with friends? And on the current side of tunings, it's like, hey, we're saying like it's more important to have fair matches. In part because even if we did let you guys queue together, I don't know how long the queue times would have to be for you guys to find each other. That's one. The other is just like the practicality of like, hey, we're running into low concurrency already, right? Like how are we going to solve for matchmaking in a world where there's less players online, quite frankly? There's like two different reasons for wanting to change duo restrictions at high MMR, or at least from what I understand. The first of which is like, hey, I really want to play with my friend. And my friend also happens to be a high MMR player.
Yeah.
That problem is just tough to solve because essentially it boils down to matchmaking, right? It's like, hey, can I find you another pair of people to play against? And can I find, or more accurate, can I find you several pairs of people to play against? Or can I find a trio of people that's like roughly equivalent in skill level, and can balance things out? That's one. The other is like, hey, the biggest reason why I want to play with my friends is because playing solo feels so bad, right? Like playing in an environment where no one wants to talk and I feel like we can't make a plan and we don't get to play together as a team feels really, really bad. I get it too. I like queue solo decently often on NA, and it's just like, oh man, it's just fucking a library up in this bitch. Like no one's talking. The second half of the problem I want to solve more broadly, because it's just more broadly applicable to people. Make it more enjoyable for people to play with strangers.
Oh, I suck.
Like, if we wanted to do looser restrictions, and to be very clear, I'm not committing to doing that, right? It'd be like a really convoluted rule, you know what I mean? Like, it'd have to be like, you guys get some sort of penalty while playing together, whether that's like your ranked anti increases, your actual effective like health damage outputs in game are lower, you know what I mean? There's like probably some magic number where you can opt into like, hey, I'm that much weaker, you know, and then therefore I get to play together. But I'm not sure that's good either, right? Like the trades for that kind of system are really weird too, because it's like, hey, all the mastery that you spent on like learning what specific damage thresholds, you know, you have kill threat on, what specific outcomes, you know, like what areas you could even dunk on, right? All get different and weird. And so my instinct is like, the most important thing to do is like decrease the part of the pain where it's like, hey, I want to play with my friends so badly because the experience of playing entirely by myself is so rough right now.
I enjoy playing solo if I enjoy playing the game, but like, is there actually any game that you enjoy playing solo as just being a solo person? Like, I haven't played like a million multiplayer competitive games, but I think it kind of the sentiment of it's always just more fun to play with friends.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I think so. There's two things. It's like, one, it's like, of any multiplayer game, like how many of them have actually solved multi-queuing at Apex ranks, right? Like League, for example, has very specifically solo and duo restrictions at its Apex ranks as well, right? We actually have the benefit of actually having voice chat by comparison, you know, saying like, hey, you have the opportunity to, but most people also don't want to talk to complete strangers from the jump. So the best thing you can try to do is like set up some pro-social loops where you can be like, hey, it is clear completely a psychopath, and I swear to God we can talk about this like reasonable human beings, you know? And part of that is just generating like pro-social loops early in the process, like make it easy for people to back each other up and bail each other out and support each other, right? Like the Aluna that picks me up unprompted, you know, it's like actually paying attention to me and grasping my waist. I definitely like heart emoji, you know, every time it happens, and I'm more likely to be tell them like, hey Aluna, there's this thing here over for you, or like, you know, come over here, I'll buy you armor or whatever, right? Things like that. The way I think about solving for solo is that like, I don't think any multiplayer game will ever be able to cross the threshold of saying like, hey, I can beat the experience of playing with the homies. That experience, I think, is unique.
Playing solo is like the worst thing you can do. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I don't have that much experience playing like a bunch of battle royales. But do you think there's like something to it where battle royales compared to like other regular MOBAs has certain ways of being able to play the modes and like how it differentiates?
Yeah. And so when I talk about like increasing solo play or team play, it's like another way of approaching it is like, hey, how can we add the minimum amount of structure without compromising what makes the BR interesting and fun, such that people are more aligned on any given time what the correct, you know, play is, right?
Yeah.
Or like make it easier for people to play together in such a way that it's just more unified. No, but I think the delta in like RP and like misalignment around like fighting in the Whispered Word is something that we can think more about. I think we will make at some point economy changes to make it so that it is less, you feel less pressure to be as resource oriented at different phases of the game. That's one. But the other half that I think is more interesting is like, can we, sorry, let me buy something real quick.
I got the crunch.
Can we find other ways to make you guys like more aligned basically throughout the game? Like what the right thing to do together is. A lot of times it's like you do want to split up and have your own individual freedom, you know?
Right.
Like, it feels worse in a weird way. It's like, hey, like in League, for example, it's clearly time to do Dragon, and for whatever reason, your team refuses to group for it, right? I just remember back in like season, I forget it was 3 or 4. Like when Challenger. Oh,
Let's go.
all right, let's go. The Schmovin.
Oh, other team. Yo.
Whoa, okay.
Let me
Oh my god.
I fell. Okay, up to you guys.
I had a question about pod racing. I mean, that's what it's called nowadays, but it's like, you know, B-hopping. Like Tetra has it, where I LMB, then I glide. It's like, how do you guys feel about that? Because, like, you know, Oath doesn't have it anymore, even though he's like one of the originators, you know. But it's like, why does Tetra get to have it?
To be quite candid, B-hopping was sort of an accident in some ways. It's sort of like, I don't know, like Riven Q animation cancels from League in that way. It's like, oh, it's cool, let's keep it, you know? And then it became part of people's kits, right? It wouldn't start out as like a hyper-intentional design decision.
Right.
So a lot of this is like retrofitting different decisions into what B-hopping should be. That being said, I think when I look at the outputs, a lot of it are cool, you know? Like, it is cool to have some kind of, like, increased tactical mobility. It is cool to have some sort of mobility optimization on different characters. And to give people, like, more ways to play. But the other half of that is, like, I mean, with Oath specifically, it's like, should Oath have pod racing? And when I look at Oath's outputs, he's, like, intentionally designed around having less mobility because he has so much beefiness and because he has so much ability to peel. And so it's like, to me, it's like, oh, it's probably incorrect for Oath specifically to have pod racing. But say Tetra right now that you're playing, why is B-hopping important on her? I think it's because her mobility profile is lower than the rest of the cast, right? Like, she has 1.5 dashes is the best way I think about it, right?
Yeah.
And so giving her the ability to B-hop is important because it gives her some more tactical movement expression and makes her feel like there's more things that she can do.
This is a person, by the way.
Oh, I probably shouldn't have hit him like that. Sorry.
Lemur is like immediately. Hey.
This is a person? Okay, I'll shoot him then.
Alright, heard. Understood. Mission received, he said, bro.
Of Armory and how you guys are seeing the feedback on it.
I think the things I like about the Armory is that, like, giving people more consistent access to like inactives and things like that, or combos with their character, right? So that they can practice and get used to parts of the game that they're excited about, you know, and be able to play the game in a way that they're excited about. I think is like a great thing about the Armory. I like the outputs of like just having more choices around like things that you could try, just broadly. Like, we added a bunch of like relics, grips, etc. that affect your playstyle more significantly. I like that. What I don't like about the Armory, though, is that I think in a lot of cases, a lot of those individual relics, because you currently unlock them through RNG, have to be pretty like generic or generalized. And as a result, like, they end up sometimes being in situations where they're pretty warping, you know? And what is good on one character ends up being like, or good or semi-viable on one character ends up feeling extremely busted on another character. For example, like, just take Songbo for example, right? Like, Songbo's extra good on characters that have a low CD.
In callouts, it's like people seem to love the Armory, but they don't like the forge aspect of it. Oh, I trolled that one. I'm cooked. You have the fart on me.
Oh, no, he pulled you.
Good fart.
He called the fart, that's funny.
Yeah.
Why do you duel me? Whatever.
I'm dead, bro. I can't play. I would wreck these guys if I wasn't on ping. I would just destroy them.
Wow, is this talking shit now? Okay.
I would destroy them, bro. Oh my god.
These guys would have no shot if I was on my mage. That's the server, he says. Yeah.
Just between Forge and Armory, and like where a lot of people are really disliking the Forge aspect of unlocking, but really loving like the creativity and what Armory as its own thing brings to the game.
We're working on stuff, but all I'll say right now is I feel similarly. I want sometimes people to have the possibility of using individual relics more, as opposed to just saying no. But the ability to adjust them differently would help a lot, because the same like flat 1.5 second CER means something very different to like Shiv, whose Shiv cooldown is 5 seconds, versus, you know, Hook level 1 cooldown, which is like 21 seconds or something insane, right? Again, no promises, but like one of the things that I personally am interested in is just making it so that like a wider variety of the roster can use the items that are most exciting to them without feeling like they're beholden to the tunings of like the strongest user of it at all times. The strongest user of Resonating Idol for a while was, I don't know, Hudson, Joule,
Yeah.
KP, right? Like,
Sorry, continue.
but like, for example, like Ghost with Resonating Idol being able to fire a lot of lasers, I think that's like an exciting build, you know? It's just that like, you can't keep the tunings for Ghost the same as the tunings for Hudson, because otherwise you just end up with a bunch of people playing Hudson just giga body slamming you into the ground, you know?
Inside the game, you don't have like, you buy your items, but then like your items, like once you have 3-star, even if you have 1-star everything, like your items aren't really progressing. And if you have 1-star, you have no way to actually progress them besides luck.
I think there's ideas we're kicking around that involve like more in-session progression, right? Like being able to upgrade and things like that, but we haven't committed to those. To add some color around it, it's like we had to put the armory system together really, really quickly in order to even just get it out, period. The time it took to like stand up all the services, rejigger the game, redesign the UI, everything just to get the armory system going, period.
I died.
Oh, just I wish we tested more like in-session progression stuff. I'm like excited to try some of it. Something that like we're still talking about, we haven't committed to yet. And I think the thing that we are most interested in just adjusting first is just how you unlock content and how that content is tuned across different characters. Experimenting with when and how you like over the course of a session unlock different grips, or not unlock different grips, unlock access to buy different things like relics or grips or things like that as well. So we're thinking about those sort of things.
I want armor to like matter, and like the progression of armor to matter a bit more. It feels weird in the game that you can just drop for gold armor, and then like if you play well, you know, you can just keep it the entire game, you know, and then yeah, it can upgrade to red, but there's games like Apex where it's like their whole paradigm during the game is to upgrade your armor.
Yeah, you want a sense of in-session progression, right? Like, one of the ways that you want that is like the defensive output of your armor, right?
Yeah,
And you're saying like, hey, giving armors too early subsumes that, and also it's kind of boring.
Pineapple, he asked if things like the old powers that were, you know, in beta, like Bebo Boombox or Two-Way Tunnel or Frog Jump or Brush 4, are those ever going to come back, do you think?
I want them to. We just have to find the right slot for them, I think.
When are we getting the summer skin Eva?
Oh, I actually don't know. You can ask SafeLock. Please direct your inquiries to SafeLock.
I got a question about arena improvements. What's your current thought on like the general aspect of like getting gold through kills and rounds, where it feels that people are like snowballing a lot? For example, like if you play Felix, who needs a lot of grips and relics, and you lose your round and you buy a grip, you're gonna be so much later on getting your power spikes to be able to be useful, instead of just having everything from the get-go, which is kind of the fun thing about arena.
I think arena is like more symmetrical and more notable compared to BR for sure. But like I think the question is like, hey, is the audience of arena, or the players who play arena right now are most attached to it, mismatched from that like type of fun? Is it that like most arena players only want like, hey, I want the purest, most symmetrical, clearest, like I can buy any relic, any combination, any grips, there's no economy, I just want to fight 4v4 best of, you know, 5 and or 7 and or 9 or whatever and duke it out, right? That's different. But I don't think like in of itself like having some sort of economy in arena is bad. I think it generates potential opportunities for different kinds of fun. And I understand like wanting that experience from a PvP standpoint. It's like you just want to be able to like have skillful duels, you know, and transition into like team fights and like find that feeling. I totally get that. I think the question is like, how much of it can we support? What direction do we want to take it? What does the existing audience want out of it? Those are things that we can all just like talk about.
I'll block it. I'll block it. Trust. I didn't block it.
We did trust. We all trusted.
I could also just jump in with Avalanche.
No, I've got an idea. I've got an idea. I'm putting an anomaly on them. Ready?
Okay.
3,
Okay.
Yeah.
2, 1, going.
Oh, wait, I got stuck in the wall. Wait, why's my button not working? Oh, it's here. Oh, it's...